Assalamu alaikum class. The topic we are going to discuss today, that is the performance appraisal. First of all, we need to understand what is performance appraisal all about. What are the reasons behind conducting the performance appraisal, or what are the reasons behind appraising any employee of the organization. Motivation and leading is one of the most important areas of the management. In order to motivate the employee towards the organization, in order to identify the benefit of an organization, identify the benefit of employees towards for the organization, and identify the flaws that may be hazardous towards the organization. You need to keep on appraising their performance before any kind of problems that may occur as a result of any flaws in their performance. Moreover, the objective of performance appraisal is to identify the right set of rewards that should be provided with the employees in order to hold them with the organization, for the motivated employees, for the ones that are proved to be the asset of the organization. So it is the process of evaluating the performance of employees to identify the right set of rewards for them, to identify the level of benefit of the employees for the organization, and in order to avoid any kind of discomfort that may occur within the employees as a result of non-appraisal towards their performance or lack of motivation towards their performance. That cannot be done without identifying the true potential, the true benefit of those employees towards the organization. Sharing that information with them so they may be able to cover their flaws, to work out with their flaws, to train them, and searching for ways to improve their performance. So it may be, so the employees may work out for their own well-being as well as for the organization. It is the step where the management finds out how effective it has been at hiring and placing employees, and the process of evaluating and employees' performance for a job in terms of its requirements. As we have discussed earlier, from the recruitment and selection till the training and development, it's a continuous process that incurs a lot of cost on employees. We may consider the cost incurred on all these areas as an investment on employees, and the absence of performance appraisal may lead to quit of an employee, of a trained employee that already has a lot of cost incurred on them. So the word perform may be considered as to make the employees identify their purpose, to empower them, to build relationship with them, along with providing flexibility to them, and in order to achieve optimal performance and recognize their performance and reward them to build up their morale. So this is a very brief overview of performance that somehow helps you understand what is the importance of performance for the organization, and what the performance appraisal may prove to the employee in order to remain motivated towards the organization, and in order to remain dedicated towards the objectives of performance appraisal. Again, for the employees, it helps them understanding the concrete and tangible particulars about their work, and it helps them assess their performance. So they may be able to work on their personal development and therefore increase their work satisfaction, because increasing the work efficiency and job enrichment may improve their work satisfaction, and in order to remain involved with the organization. For the organization, it helps measure the efficiency of the employees, to help measure the worth of the employees for the organization, maintaining organizational control, and for the purpose of mutual goals of the employee and the organization, that is the betterment of the organization, for the purpose of growth and development, and increase harmony and enhance effectiveness. Harmony in a sense, because as we have discussed earlier, that if an employee feels unappraised, or the lack of appraisal may result in discomfort within the employees, may result in somehow um, that triggers the employees act towards quitting the job. Opportunity to regularly discuss results. Supervisor identifies strengths and weaknesses, so they may be able to incorporate for the uh, betterment of the organization. Fair and equitable treatment, in order to avoid any discomfort within the organization. Fair and equal format, a fair and equitable treatment among the employees, that you will be treated on the basis of your work. The feeling somehow induce that feeling within the employees that their work is more important, and they will be treated equally on the basis of their work, not any other parameter. And it also helps helps a foundation for the basis of salary, promotion, recommendations, etc. And as it helps the organization to improve performance, make correct market decisions, ensuring legal compliance, minimizing dissatisfaction and turnover, helps in delivering the right values and behavior, and it in order to develop strategy and behavior for future orientations. All these parameters helps in defining the competitive advantage of an organization. Employees are one of the most important part of internal environment of an organization, that may be incorporated as the true strength for the organization. The differentiation for an organization in the form of personnel differentiation. Many organizations are somehow achieving global workplace just on the basis of their personnel differentiation, because it's hard to imitate, it's hard to develop, and these are the things that these are the factors that somehow defines your competitive advantage. The advantages, as discussed earlier, it provides a record of performance and over a period of time, provide an opportunity for a manager to meet and discuss performance, provide the employees with feedback about their performance, can be motivational with the support of a good reward and compensation, and provide an opportunity for an employee to discuss issues and to clarify expectations. Disadvantages, if not done appropriately, can be a negative experience. Very time consuming, especially for a manager. The process of performance appraisal is a costly process. It's time consuming, it needs investment, it takes time, it takes money. If not done appropriately, can be a negative experience. In case if it is not done properly, it may result in bringing demotivation. In case if you have not defined the right parameters for for appraising the performance of the employees in accordance with their job description, in accordance with their job specification, it may result in a negative consequence. Subject to rated errors and biases, as we have discussed, that all these things. In case the compliance of performance appraisal, performance appraisal fails to comply with the job description, it may result in rated errors and biases. If not done right, can be a complete waste of time. total waste, can be stressful for all involved. It can be stressful for the employer, for the HR manager who is currently appraising the performance, and those who are being appraised, who are being evaluated, the employees. It somehow is stressful for all involved. The process of performance appraisal, as discussed earlier in so many HRM processes, that we have to keep in mind in HRM that many of the processes involved are flexible in nature. They vary from organization to organization. They vary from job to job. With the change in the job, the method of performance appraisal may change. With the change within the organization, the method or the process may change. In this process, we have to first set the performance standards. Set performance standards on which you have to evaluate the employees. Communication standards, what will be the ways to communicate with the employees. Measuring standards, what will be the parameters that will be used for the performance. Comparing standards with the past, with some other organizations in the sector, and the past methods that are used by the organization. Discussing results with employees among the managers, and taking corrective standards. And the repeat of that, the connecting arrow between corrective standards and setting performance standards, reveals the cyclic nature of this process. It's a continuous process that keeps on repeating itself. After taking corrective standards, taking corrective measures, you redefine the performance standards for the employees, and you work on the process whole again. Constant check induces employees to perform better. Issues in appraisal system, formal and informal. Whose performance should be evaluated? Who are the raters? What problems are going to be occurred? How to solve those problems? What to evaluate? What to evaluate? Which particular job to evaluate? When to evaluate? Time is very much important. And what methods should be used to appraise the performance of employees? Again, I would like to repeat that all these questions will be answered on the basis of the nature of job involved, on the basis of the type of the organization. The wrong method used may result in negative evaluation of that performance. The wrong time of evaluation may result in negative consequences for the organization. Uses of performance appraisal, again, benefits the same thing I've discussed earlier. I've added so many slides in this particular presentation just in order to provide you with the varied data. So you may be able to get better points from different managers, from different authors. Performance improvement, compensation adjustments, placement decisions, training and development, career planning and development. After the performance appraisal, you may identify the need of compensation and adjustments, placement decisions, training and development required, career planning and development, identify deficiencies in staffing process, detect informational inaccuracies, diagnose to job design errors and avoidance of discrimination within the organization, as well as the external challenges that are faced by the organization. Objectives of communication. As discussed earlier in the process, that communication objectives, communication standards should be well defined when going with the performance appraisal methods. To provide adequate feedback on performance, to clearly establish goals, that is what is expected of the staff members in terms of performance and future work assignments. to provide counseling and job satisfaction through open discussion on performance, and to let employees assess where they stand within the organization in terms of their performance. To let the employees assess where they stand within the organization in terms of their performance. Employees should be able to anticipate the rewards or the punishments that may occur as a result of the good performance or the poor performance. Administrative objectives serve the basis of promotion or demotion, serve as a basis for allocating incentives, serve as a basis of determining transfers, serve as a basis of termination in case of reduction of staff. Uses, raises, money, merit, pay bonuses, personnel decisions, identification of training needs, research purposes. Elements of performance appraisal, setting performance. Now moving on towards the performance appraisal methods. You have to set the performance goals and objectives, determine key competencies. First, when you define which job needs to be appraised, which area needs to be appraised, which employee needs to be appraised, which employee needs to be evaluated, or which particular job needs to be evaluated. Set performance goals and objectives. Determine key competencies on the basis of the parameters of job description. Measurement of performance against the goals and objectives. Measurement of performance against key competencies. Means the performance should be evaluated on the basis of goals and objectives of the organization, and it should also be measured on the basis of the key competencies required for the particular job. Feedback of results, amendment to goals and objectives, and then the repeat of the whole process. The characteristics of effective performance appraisal. Philosophy, purpose, and objectives of the organization are clearly stated, so that performance appraisal tools can be designed to reflect these. The purpose of performance appraisal are identified, communicated, and understood. They should be properly revealed in order to avoid any ambiguity, in order to avoid any discomfort among the employees, in order to avoid any kind of biasness among the employees. Job descriptions are written in such a manner that standards of job performance can be identified for each job by the evaluator, by the employee, and by the employer as well. The appraisal tool used is suited to the purposes for which it will be utilized and is accompanied by clear instructions for its use. Evaluators are trained in the use of the tool. Tool should be suited to the purpose for which it will be utilized. As we have discussed earlier, that the method should be in compliance with the job that needs to be evaluated. And evaluators should know how to make the best use of that tool. Performance appraisal procedure is delineated, communicated, and understood. Plans for policing the appraisal procedure and evaluating appraisal tools are developed and implemented. It has the full support of top management, and it is considered to be fair and productive by all who participated in it, including the employer, including the employee. Obstacles includes lack of support from top management, resistance on the part of evaluator because performance appraisal demands too much of supervisor's efforts in terms of time, paperwork, and periodic observation of subordinates' performance. Moreover, it is also somehow maybe considered as a test part on the supervisor's end. The right method, he should know the right method to be used in order to avoid any kind of biasness among the employees. Because in case if any flaw in the performance appraisal method is questioned, it itself reflects the inability of evaluator towards his own responsibilities. Supervisors do not fully understand the purposes and procedures of performance appraisal. If they do not fully understand the job, if they do not fully understand the performance indicators, if they do not fully understand the job description. As I said earlier, that a supervisor has to be well aware of the jobs, the nature of jobs, the job description, the parameters that should be measured, and in case of any flaw, uh, questioned regarding the performance appraisal methods, it reflects the inability of the supervisor. So supervisor has to be very much competent, has to be very much careful, and has to be very much conscious while conducting the performance appraisal part. Supervisor lacks skills in appraisal techniques, is not perceived as big productive, evaluator biases and rating errors, lack of clear objective standards of performance, clear objective standards of performance, failure to communicate purposes and lack of suitable appraisal tool, failure to police the appraisal procedure effectively. Now the next question, as we have discussed earlier, that it also needs to be evaluated. When is the best time to evaluate the performance of employees in the organization? Now moving on towards step-by-step guide to performance appraisal. First, we need to develop the performance standards. Then we have to identify this, we have to set the goals and objectives. Data collection methods should be properly used. Performance appraisal interview. And then we moved on towards future goals and objectives. Follow-up, rewarding performance. What is it all about? Now, develop performance appraisal standards. The first step that is the develop the standards for evaluation. What are the standards that will be used? What are the parameters that will be used for the identification of the performance of any employee? Should be based on the keep in mind the fact that it should be based on the job description of that particular employee. Obviously there are a lot of jobs within the organization, and all those jobs needs different kind of parameters, need different kind of trades, need different kind of different kind of properties, characteristics within the employees. So identifying the right right parameter for the performance appraisal helps you identifying the right potential of the employee instead of identifying evaluating them on the basis of the wrong job. After setting the standard of performance evaluation, performance appraisal, you have to set the objectives of the whole process, set the objectives for conducting the whole process. You have to identify the reason behind doing this performance appraisal job. That they have to be specific, they have to be performance oriented, they have to be realistic, they have to be observable. And what may be the objectives, whether you are doing it for the purpose of rectifying the performance, or whether you are doing it for the purpose of rewarding the employees. What is the actual objective behind conducting this performance appraisal process at any particular time? Then comes, after setting the parameters, after setting the standards, after setting the objectives, what data is actually required, what data is needed in order to achieve your objective. And then you will have to identify the sources of your data collection. Sources of performance information can either be the personal observation, it can either be the reports, documentation, correspondence, etc. It can be the feedback, whether internal or external, whether from the supervisor, whether from the customers, or whatever. So, and it can be the periodic discussion with employees. The source of data collection is also based on the method you're using. Performance appraisal interview, review standards, documentation. After going through the data, you have to review the standards, documentation, job description, as well as the appraisal form and various ratings. Write the appraisal, complete the performance appraisal form, know the person's record thoroughly, prepare the employee in advance for whatever are the results, whether they are the whether they are the positive or whether they are the negative. Guidelines for conducting the interview: establish a friendly, helpful, purposeful tone at the outset of the discussion. Bring the employee at ease. Ask for the subordinate's opinion of his or her performance since the last appraisal. Maybe at times it happens that a person is not able to show their true potential at any particular time. So you have to give them the margin. Recognize the staff nurses' accomplishments and contributions to the hospital. Be ready to suggest specific developmental activities suitable. Make sure the session is truly a discussion. Let's discuss disagreements. Make certain your employees fully understand. Discuss the future as well, and the discussion on a positive future improvement oriented note, and document the conclusion. Future goals and objectives should be revised. Follow-up means more than simply conducting regular formal performance reviews once a year. If employers are reviews are uh, employees and provide feedback as part of everyday management, both employers and employee will learn much more about their strengths, weaknesses, and how employers would prefer the job to be done. Uh, Keep the fact in mind that performance appraisal is a two-way process. It not only helps to identify, not only helps to appraise the performance of employees, it also helps to appraise the performance or the problems that exist in the standards of an organization. The performance evaluation report, certain characteristics are mentioned, certain specifications are mentioned in order to prepare a better evaluation report. Questions to consider when preparing to write the performance report: did employee meet or exceed quantity and quality standard? Does employee have the skills to perform the job? To decide whether to keep them within the organization or not. Has the employee increased skill level and established value to the organization since the previous performance appraisal? If corrective action was instituted due to errors and or complaints that damage the efficiency of organizational operations, was it effective? Has the employee demonstrated job-related efficiency through special efforts and capabilities? Does they follow organizational rules and standards? Does they utilize supervisory guidance? Guidelines are also provided to prepare employee performance report. Rewarding performance, as discussed earlier, that one of the reasons behind performance appraisal is not only to rectify, is not only to evaluate, not only to rectify the performance of employees, but also to reward them in order to keep them motivated, in order to retain them with the organization. Okay. Benefits of performance appraisal discussed earlier. These are just the points you might need to go through, might want to go through. Now, moving on towards some methods of performance appraisal. Another most important part. Methods of performance appraisal, as discussed earlier, varies from job to job, varies from organization to organization. Some traditional methods that are used include confidential report, free form or essay, straight ranking, paired comparison, force distribution, graphic rating scales, checklist method, critical incidents, group appraisal, field review. Whereas the modern methods that are currently in use or that our organizations are pursuing to use are assessment center, human resource accounting, behaviorally anchored rating scales, appraisal through MBO or 360 ranking method. Traditional method, simple. Okay, instead of going through the definitions of all these methods, I will somehow show you some of the examples of these methods. Although I have provided the definitions, within the presentation. So you may be able to go through them as well. Group appraisal method, field review method, assessment center method, human resource accounting method. The examples of all these methods are also provided at the end of the presentation as well. Confidentiality report, traditional form, is a report prepared by employee's immediate superior. That is a report prepared by the supervisor of the employee, uh, who identifies his strengths or weaknesses or the behavior of any particular employee and provide it to the organization. Free form of or essay method. The evaluator writes a short essay on the employee's performance on the basis of overall impression. Straight ranking method. In this particular method, the evaluator assigns relative ranks to the employees in the same work, doing the same job. Say 5 employees are given the same task, and who stood first, who stood second, who stood third, or fourth, or fifth. Paired comparison method, modified form of man-to-man ranking. Herein, each employee is compared with all the others in pairs, one at a time. Specifically, this is a kind of method when you that is somehow mostly used in sports, when you used to compare any sports person performance with any particular high ranker or the benchmark that works as a benchmark in that particular field. Force distribution method, the rater is required to distribute his rating in the form of normal frequency distribution. In this way, from the performance of employee should be ranked this way from poor to excellent. Graphic rating scales, numerical scale indicating different degrees of a particular trait. The rate is given a printed form for each employee to be rated. This is an example of graphic rating scale. Checklist method. A checklist is a list of statements that describe the characteristics and performance of employee on the job. Based on the job description, the rater checks to indicate if the behavior of an employee is positive or negative to each statement. Performance is rated on the basis of number of positive checks. Here are the examples of some simple checklist method. Is the employee regular on the job? Is the employee respected by the subordinates? Whatever are the traits in order to identify the teamwork among the employees. Is the employee always willing to help his peers? Does they follow their instructions? Employee keeps the equipment in order. Forced choice block. In simple checklist method, you use to answer with a yes or no. And forced choice block provides you some other kind of choices in order to answer them, in order to evaluate the employee's performance. Weighted checklist. Critical incidents method. In this method, the supervisor keeps a written record of critical events and how different people, employee behave during such events. This particular method is mostly used to identify the employee response in a particular circumstance scenario while dealing with pressure times, that how an employee responds during certain circumstances when faced a certain situation. Especially these kind of methods are used when dealing with the PR related people who used to defend your organization in front of outsiders, and in case if they won't be able to keep their response in check, they may result in a negative response regarding the organization. They may result in providing a negative response regarding this organization. Group appraisal method. A group of evaluators assesses employees. This group consists of immediate supervisor of the employees, other supervisor having close contact with employees work, and head of the department and personnel expert. So they may be able to identify the evaluator. Field review method. A trainer officer from the personnel department interviews line supervisors to evaluate their respective subordinates. You might have got the insight of these methods somehow. These methods vary from job to job. The nature of job itself defines the method to be used in order to uh, perform assessment. Modern methods include assessment center method, human resource accounting method, uh, and behavioral anchored rating scale and appraisal by MBO. As you all know, MBO is the management by objective method, management by objective. And in order to identify the traits of employees on the basis of this method, you have to understand the steps that are used in the objective that is used by the organization in order to manage certain tasks.